It is time to check your laughter levels. So do me a favour, would you turn your chairs around, get comfortable, don't half commit to me. Slip your shoes off if you want to, put the feet into the lap of the person beside you, and just get comfortable. It's my pleasure over the next few minutes to give you a glimpse into the keynote that I present to companies, their staff and clients. The keynote is designed to be delivered ideally at the beginning or the end of a conference, or that hard to slot in after lunch segment where we do know that we need to get them back in and get them charged up ready for the rest of the day. The most important thing we can do in life is to laugh on a regular basis. If you don't laugh on a regular basis, you're going to die. And even if you do laugh, you're going to die. So doesn't it make sense to laugh? And yet it's something that we gradually over time forget how to do. I love making an audience laugh, but even more than that, I love getting the feedback from the audience that says after a good laugh, they have felt better for days. It's also been proven that if you get a little more laughter into the workplace, it will improve productivity, and that will lead to a healthier bottom line. And even better than that, if you laugh on a regular basis, you as human beings will begin to feel better and better and better. So if we do need to laugh more, why aren't we doing it now? Well, it was that question that led me to the study of gelatology. Not gerontology, which is the study of old people, which wouldn't be very funny, but gelatology. And gelatology is the study of the science of laughter and its positive effects on the human body. And the study discovered some incredible facts. Do you know that by the time a child reaches grade 1, they're laughing on average 300 times a day? And yet as adults, we manage to laugh about 17. Now, over the average 12-hour day, that means that a child's laughing about every 2.5 minutes. So everything in life for a child is funny. Why? Because they're living in the moment. One of the reasons that we fail to see the bright side of life sometimes is not because it isn't there, because there are things that are put in front of us every single day that will bring a smile to our face. Rather, it's because life today for most of us is a little bit like this. It is moving at an incredible pace. So it's little wonder that even the most gifted of people can begin to lose their sense of direction. While for the rest of us, well, it's really just a downhill spiral to the bottom. 2.5 million Australians took sick days last year, and it's not just Australia that's suffering. People all over the world are having bad days. They are walking around filled with negative energy, and they are trying to thrust that negative energy onto you, an otherwise generally positive person. You know what's happening? They are beginning to build stress hormones up in their body, and these can be, in some small parts, good for us because it stimulates us, but too much can make us feel bad. But the good news is that we have an ally, and it's called the endorphin, the happiness hormone, and you can get it in all sorts of ways flowing through your body. Acupuncture, deep breathing, meditation, chiropractic adjustments, but the easiest way is just by smiling. Smile for me, sir. Yes, you. And you. In fact, everybody, smile for me. Don't half smile, try to touch the corners of your ears. See, even if you're miserable, your brain thinks you're happy. And so what it does is it starts to release the endorphins into your system. And once that happens, well, I don't care who you are, you could be one of these people, or you could work with one of these people. If you smile, you will feel better. And the next step to smiling is laughter. And that is just a smile that bursts. How would you rather feel? Would you rather feel like this, or would you rather feel like this? Well, I know how I'd rather feel. And you know what? It all starts up here in the brain. The brain looks like that. It makes up 2% of our body weight, but does 98% of our function, and incredibly uses 20% of our energy. Why? Because it processes roughly 400 billion bits of information every single second. We only recognise the first 2,000, which is, of course, is smell, touch, sight, etc. But the amazing thing is that the brain is controlled by us and not the other way around. Some people make that mistake. And if you remember nothing else, remember that there's one vital part of the brain that you need to focus on at all times. Right in the middle of our brain, that little area there is called a hypothalamus. It's about the size of a pea, and from the moment your brain is conceived to the moment you die, this beats. And inside there is where you find all the chemicals that can make you feel up, down, sideways. That's where the endorphins are stored. And all you have to do is to think. Now, one other thing you've got to do as well, and that is to recognise stress in your life. Because if you don't recognise the stress, then you can't move forward. S equals P greater than R. Stress occurs when the pressure that's placed upon you is greater than the resources you have at your disposal. And university tests have shown us the top 10 stresses that cause us grief. Over a 5-year period, they did a study. 10, retirement. Number 9, reconciliation with spouse. Number 8, being fired from work. Marriage. 6, personal illness or injury. Death of a close family member. Jail term. Who's out there? Marital separation, divorce, and the death of a spouse. Now, you may have gone out to the top 20 if you thought about sexual difficulties, pregnancy, death of a friend. But the really interesting fact is that a lot of people say it's work that stresses me out. And if I didn't have work, life would be so much easier. But have a look at that. The top 7 of the top 10 aren't even really work-related. So how stressed are you? If you've got a pen and a piece of paper, take it out. If you don't have a pen and a piece of paper, don't worry, you have fingers. I'm going to ask you a series of 20 questions, and all you have to do is say yes if it applies to you. If you say yes, put a finger up like that and keep track of how many yeses. If it's a no, just ignore it altogether. Question number 18. Do you frequently complain about the past? Did something happen to you when you were 10, 12, beaten up maybe? You're 70 now, and you can't wait to get to heaven to get stuck into somebody. Question number 19. Do you frequently race through the day from the moment you get up to the moment you go to bed? It's all go, go, go. And finally, number 20, which is probably the most important question you can have. Do you frequently feel you are unable to cope with all that you have to do? In other words, if somebody said to you, this is your lot, would you say, I'm cool with that, or I need to change some things? Add up your yeses for me, please, if you wouldn't mind. Add up your yeses and get a total somewhere between 1 and 20. Hands up all the 1 to 6s out there. Where are the 1 to 6s? Have a look at these people. They are the secrets to a happy life in the short time that I've got left here. Well, no one's written any hard and fast answers to it. But the one thing that we all agree on is that life is not a spectator sport. You cannot expect to hide yourself away and still get the very most you can out of life. Admittedly, with participation, there does come a certain amount of risk. But you cannot let that stop you. You must still take risks. Allow them to be calculated risks